Welcome back to Cox Connections, exclusively on Cox 9. I'm Vanya Aline. It all started as a favor for a family friend, the simple act of taking one computer to one little girl who needed it for school. Since that day in 2008, PatchX has repaired over 200 computers, taught kids how to program, develop websites for nonprofits, and use technology to help the environment. My guest today, whose motto is, "It's better to give than to receive," is the founder of PatchX, Brian D. Wilson. Brian, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
So let's talk about PatchX and your favor that started in 2008 and now is an organization. Just kind of walk us through the evolution of PatchX.
Yeah, so I have a wife and two children, and I've always kind of wanted to do something to give back. And sometimes it's tough with time. I had a full-time job and things like that, and it kind of all happened at the same time. So my mother-in-law, a friend of hers, had a grandchild who was starting kindergarten, and she said she doesn't have a computer. And it was interesting that same day, like the next day, I went to work, and it was just showing to me all the computers. They were kind of just sitting there, you know. So I was like, well, this would be, you know, computers there that the company doesn't need could really help this child. So I went home. I was able to fix it up at my house and gave it to her and asked for, you know, a picture, you know, of the event, and really got a wonderful feeling as far as like, wow, this is really something I feel like I could do and use my talents to you know, to help this girl and maybe more.
To help others. And so to help others, I was reading about your organization, about you, and the significance of the name PatchX. But for those who aren't familiar with the name of PatchX, tell us that story.
Yeah, I think I've always liked certain words. I think people like. I think patch. I've always liked that word. I think it kind of means different things. And a computer means like patching software, and people, you know, patching, you know, people, and you know the Patch Adams movie. You know, I thought was a very, very well done movie, and obviously from a real person. So I wanted to use that word, and then the X kind of denotes how many computers we fix up. So it's like patch 1, patch 2, patch 3. So we would name each computers. You know, we're actually at 200 now. I didn't even think that it would even get that far when I was doing it. I was just kind of doing it, you know, one computer at a time. So.
That's terrific. And so how do those who are in need of your services, how do you make that connection? Well,
I think probably, like I said, I have the talkative spirit. I'm not afraid to reach out. So once I did the one computer, I wanted to do more. So I reached out to some church groups where my kids went to preschool, and also the YMCA, and said, hey, you know, do you need some computers? And I fixed up computers for them, and then I just kept doing it. I asked people that I work with, it's like, you know, that I knew had children, and said, do you have a computer in the house? And it was amazing to me how many people did not have a computer for their child. And then it just kind of grew from there, and I reached out to probably one of the bigger places was Greenville School. They were very welcoming to what I was trying to do and very receptive, and we've actually donated 30 computers to their organization. We actually set up a computer lab with the junior league group, and actually taught a couple classes with Scratch and programming for the kids. And it was they've just been a wonderful organization to work with.
So the key thing here is you provide these services, you obtain the computers from different sources, you fix them up, get them operable, and then donate them free of charge, I'm assuming.
Yeah, all we ask for is a picture. And you know, I think really when I look back, you know, as you go through the journey, you kind of learn a lot of things. And I think really probably the core is that, you know, I tell people I did not go to college. You know, computers came around during the time that I was, you know, growing up, and if it wasn't learning about computers and technology, I would not have the job that I have. So I want to let kids have that same opportunity that I was given using a computer, because I feel like, you know, there's a digital divide out there, you know, as far as, you know, some people have computers and some people don't. You know, there's articles in the paper about kids not doing well in the SOLs or those things not because of the test, but because they did not really understand the computer part of it. So we're hoping, you know, us and there's a lot of other organizations around the United States to help that digital divide.
And so you said all you ask for is a picture when you give these computers away. What's the significance to you of receiving that picture?
I think, you know, as the saying goes, I think a picture speaks 1,000 words. And, you know, I've even told people before, you know, sometimes when you're working or in life, you have ups and downs and things like that. And, you know, I've actually myself went back to those pictures and remember those times that we were able to, you know, kind of give something back, you know, and so that's probably the significance of it, and just trying to really kind of spread the message of not so much me, but just what we're trying to do.
I understand. And so right now, I believe you service the Roanoke Valley area. Do you have plans for expansion?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I kind of started out just doing it, you know, just trying to give back, and then I was working with the Blue Ridge Independent Living Center, because one of the things I kind of found too is that handicapped also kind of need, you know, computers and those things like that. So they wrote an article in the paper, and a gentleman named John Burroughs has actually been working with me for about 2 years. So we've really grown gradually. So I don't really have any grand plans, but, you know, if something happens, it's definitely would be a wonderful thing to be able to kind of do your passion and, you know, full time or something like that. So.
Well, Brian, thank you for being here with me today and sharing the wonderful work that you're doing at PatchX. It's truly been a pleasure talking with you and learning more about your company and what you're doing.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To learn more about PatchX, you can visit them on the web at patchx.org. If you would like to help or have a computer to donate, you can contact Brian at brian@patchx.org. Coming up after the break, there's a new events venue in Roanoke. We'll talk with sponsor hounds about the river stage at the bridges. Stay with us.